All right. So, yeah, like I said, if y'all have any questions, feel free to ask. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna go over at first. I'm gonna talk about gear, right? So, most bruisers like there's some flexibility in your gear. You don't not everyone has to run the exact same thing. There's a few things that I think people should be running, if they can, but for the most part, um, this is going to be kind of what you want to be running. So for your armor, you want to have the Gravwell perk somewhere on your armor. Um, I'm a huge freedom enjoyer. I think you should be running 4 out of 4 freedom. I think it's pretty important. And then I like Grit Ward a lot. That's what I'm running. Other usable perks: slash conditioning, Ellie aversion, shirking fort, and health. Um, I think health for like that third perk, and then like a health Grit Ward freedom set. I think that would be like my ideal set. And then you do want to be running the Tumbler's boots. And you can add whatever on there if you want to add freedom, if you want to add the Grav perk, if you want to add health. It's up to you. Whatever you need in your build. There are some named items you can get. I think, let's see, I might have some of them. I don't have them upgraded, but like the syncretic, like you're gonna be running a heavy chest, heavy legs, and then with the tumbler boots being light, you're gonna be running those, and then either your helm or your gloves should be light. I'm running light gloves. And then you want to run a medium helm, or if you're running a light helm, you want medium gloves. But yeah, so the syncretic breastplate and the pants, they they roll initially with slash conditioning and grit ward, which are two very usable perks. Then you can add freedom to it, you can add health, you can add grav, well, you know, whatever. I plan on adding this to my build, and I plan on throwing freedom on there, so I plan on running 4 freedom. I want like 4 or 5 grit ward. I'll have a couple slash conditioning, and then of course you want the grav perk. But that's gonna be kind of what you want for your armor. Next thing is gonna be the weapons. There's gonna be a name drop next patch. A great axe that rolls with thwarting strikes and maelstrom. And then you can add a third perk to that, which you'll want refreshing move. Like this is the ideal great axe, right? Thwarting strikes, refreshing move, and maelstrom. If you can't get this, like you could replace thwarting strikes with vicious, or vicious refreshing move mail. You know, like if you can't get mail on the great axe for whatever reason, maybe like ideally you get maelstrom, but if you can't get it for whatever reason, like a vicious refreshing move and like maybe some sort of shirking damage as the third perk would be okay. That'd be like a cheap great axe you could get. But yeah, this is ideal. Everyone should be farming that great axe next patch and throwing refreshing move on it. All bruisers I think should be running this. And then unless for whatever reason you're not running maelstrom, then you know you could replace the maelstrom with a shirking damage, or if you're running reap, you could be running crippling reap. But most bruisers should be running maelstrom unless you're in like a kill squad group. But this video, or this workshop is mainly going to be for your traditional bruisers, which are going to be running maelstrom. For warhammer, you know, there's a lot of different things you can run with the warhammer. I'm a huge enjoyer of transient strikes because you can do these like medium heavies like this, right? Rather than charging a full heavy, you can do like a medium heavy like that, and it applies the transient strikes. It didn't before this patch, it does. And that's something you just gotta practice a little bit, right? Like getting the timing right on it. Like if you time it perfectly, it's pretty quick. But it's just something you got to practice. So I like Trenchant Strikes. You can run Thwarting Strikes. Plague Strikes is good. Sundering Shockwave is good. Attunement's good. Thwarting Counter's good. There's lots of good perks on the Warhammer. I don't think there's like a Warhammer Biss that's out there, like something that everybody should be running. But these are all going to be good perks for the Warhammer. As for jewelry, everyone, if you can, you should be running Ankh. If you haven't gotten it, you should you can run a health / protection stam recovery amulet. That's good as well. But everyone should be running Ankh. Ankh is very strong right now, even after the nerfs. As for the ring, Champion's Ring is going to be Biss. I believe next patch they're going to allow you to upgrade it, and it rolls with Hardy and Invig. You just add slash damage to that, and then you've got a good ring. That's like the ideal ring, I think, for bruisers. For earring, I'm a big nimble enjoyer. You can throw refreshing on there. Refreshing toast got a little bit of a nerf this patch. So it's not like required like it used to be. Other good perks are purifying toast, and I think there's like an empowering toast perk as well. I haven't messed around too much with that, but it sounds pretty decent as well.
Yeah, I think you put focus pots on your bar.
Yeah.
And there's no cooldown on the focus pots, so every 4 seconds you can pop them. I guess you wouldn't want to do it every 4 seconds, but you get
Yeah.
empowering for about 4 or 5 seconds.
Yeah, in war, I mean, you're not necessarily gonna have the slots to be able to you're not gonna have the slots because you need your protection potions, right? It should be like tier 5 fire. If you're on point, you can run arcane resist. You can run gemstone or oak flesh, and then you'll want your cleanse, your health, and then your regen serums. I mean, maybe in some like niche builds where you don't need like cleanse, but for the most part you do.
Back to the ring.
Yeah.
The Privateer's Heirloom rolls with slash damage and Hardy on it with the random third.
Yeah, and I think you can upgrade that and add in Vig, right? So you can run that as well if you need that now. Yeah, I just have the Champion's Ring, so I'm just waiting for.
Where does that come from? The PvP track?
Yeah, from the PvP track. But right now you can't upgrade it. Next patch you should be able to.
Well, I'll keep a lookout for it.
Yeah, if you have that other ring already, it doesn't matter, right? You just run that.
Yeah.
Champion's Ring rolls by default with Con, not Magnify. I don't know if the other ring does roll with Magnify. So if you
rolls with Strength.
Oh, okay. Well, perfect. Yeah. So you can run that one as well.
For your artifact armor, do we still want to focus over with Tumbler or Unyielding?
I would run Tumbler. You get like with the Tumbler, you get the empower, you get the heals, you get the what else does it have? I already claimed it on my other character.
You get Shirking Fort on them.
Okay, yeah. So they're like all good perks, right? And I think it's just too strong not to run. But yeah, the Shirking Blessing is insane. But yeah, I think everyone should still be running tumblers, especially if you have the Ankh. And then that's the artifact you want to run. You can run like the heavy chest one, I think. Unyielding is the heavy helm, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't looked too much into that. I mean, like if it changes from Tumbler though, I'll let you guys know, but that seems to be the one that most armies want people running.
Unyielding is it has Resilient on it, like old Resilient.
Yeah, you get built-in crit resist with medium, right? Yeah, 20%. So I mean, yeah, the crit resist I guess would be nice on the helm, but I don't think it's I still think Tumbler's very strong. but yeah, that's what I would run. Of course, like there's some flexibility, right? Everyone's gonna have their own kind of style of play. So if you think something else would work better for your build, you know, feel free to try it out and see if it does. But this is kind of, I would say, like the standard Bruiser setup. Anyone else have any questions about gear or anything?
Yeah, let's see. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Just quick question about, like, if you got two Bruisers, is it worthwhile for both of them to have Enfeebling Maelstrom on the weapon? Or if you can coordinate and have one Bruiser running that and the other Bruiser running something else? Because, like, do you go over any kind of, like, cap limit for Enfeeble?
So it'll just reapply, right? So if you hit like the thing with it, I think all bruisers should just be running it, just because it only applies on the second swing of the second spin of Maelstrom. So a lot of times you'll get interrupted during your Maelstrom or something, and that second spin won't go off. So there's and like you always, like, if you can weaken the enemy, it's always a good thing, right? And having it on your weapon versus your armor just applies an even bigger weaken. I think it's worth running. Like, there's not really a third perk that's going to provide as much value as Enfeebling Maelstrom does, in my opinion.
Cool, thanks.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Shirking heals, we don't care about. That's correct.
You can run Shirking Heals. I think that's another option. It would just like these perks are all kind of replaceable between each other. I think personally, I think Grit Ward is just better for bruisers, especially after the nerf to Shirking Heals. Before Shirking Heals was, like, that was the abyss, but now it's still good. I just don't think it outshines any of the other perks necessarily. I just kind of forgot about it, but it's definitely a usable perk.
Does any of that change if you're doing like heavy bruiser?
Not necessarily. I think with Heavy Bruiser, or like maybe Shirking Fort gets, I mean, it does get a little bit more value because you are, you have more armor, right? So you're increasing that by when you increase that by 1%, you're just getting more in general. So maybe you value Shirking Fort a little bit more. Most bruisers should be playing medium unless maybe there's like one or two heavy bruisers like on point. But for the most part, most bruisers should be running medium, I believe. I mean, each army's different, right? You have to account for what whoever's planning the war wants, you know. But I would say like it's going to be the same kind of build, right? Grit Ward's still going to be very good. Slash Conditioning's good. LE version, sure, it's all still going to be good and heavy.
Still Tumbler too? Or
probably not Tumbler. I would go with the heavy chest that drops from, was it Barnacles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Void plate,
Yeah.
Oh, the Dark Void?
Yeah. I think that's going to be slightly better in heavy over Tumbler. That way you can run a full heavy set, right? You're not missing out on the extra protections and stuff. Although Tumbler's still good in that build as well, I think probably that heavy chest gives a little bit more value. Alright, cool. We'll move on to the next thing, unless anyone else had anything. Next thing we'll talk about is probably weapon tree. I think this is like the standard weapon tree, right, for Great Axe. There's not really any perks that I would change from this tree. I mean, maybe if you're playing on point, like you can take frustration and maybe drop like feed or something. But I think this is like just very standard. You shouldn't change much from this. You're not necessarily focusing on attacking the tank anyway, and you hit Empower Cap pretty easily with the Great Axe that I don't think this is really necessary. It's so situational. But yeah. And then as for Warhammer, it's very like there's a lot of perks that you can change, right? Since most bruisers have swapped off of Wrecking Ball and swapped to the Armor Breaker, you can drop this last perk from Armor Breaker if you want, and like there's some perks over here you could take and drop some perks over here. I think Concussive Impact is you know, it's solid. I think Guarded Sprint is pretty decent. Yeah, I mean, the other ones you don't necessarily need. You can pick up a couple perks and get this last one here if you want, but I don't value this perk all that much, to be honest. There's so many other slows and stuff in War from like the Ice Gauntlets and stuff that Wrecking Ball's not, or sorry, the Aftershock's not gonna provide you much more kill potential. You can still run Wrecking Ball, just and drop like like you could drop like Path of Destiny or Armor Breaker if you want and run Wrecking Ball, but with the added animation to Wrecking Ball, it's just way harder to follow up on it with anything else. This is what I run, but yeah, you can exchange a few perks if you want. Next we'll talk about like the basic combo, right, for Bruiser. In like a war setting, right? Like your basic combo is gonna be it's gonna be this. It's gonna be Grav into a dodge, into an auto, into a Maelstrom. That's your basic combo, right? And the reason for that is like back in the day, a lot of people were going Grav into Shock, but it's so easy to like anticipate that shockwave. Like a good bruiser is almost always going to dodge that, so a lot of people have swapped to this combo. And another reason for it is you're building up Mauler stacks, right, by staying on your Great Axe, so you're doing more damage in general with the Great Axe, and you're also pulling enemies in with the Maelstrom, and then, you know, maybe like a follow-up Bruiser or something can follow up with a Shockwave. But that's like the standard Bruiser combo. When you have debt, you can incorporate that into it. And the big thing with debt is like you want to have Mauler stacks, right? So when you're you want to stay on your Great Axe, so when you're throwing your Grav, doing your Maelstrom, right, auto mail, like here I've got 9 Mauler stacks, right? If my deck goes off at this time, it's going to be empowered by all those stacks. It's going to be close to empower cap. So the combo with Detonate, I'll wait till my cooldowns come back up, but you want to Grav and Det at the same time, and then dodge in auto mail. So something like this. And then all your damage kind of comes out at the same time, right at the end, with all the empower and all that. The burst from the Gravwell, the burst from the Detonate, the burst from that last hit of Maelstrom, it all comes in at the same time. So that's kind of like the standard Bruiser combo. Yeah, I mean, you're using your Warhammer abilities, like your Shockwave and stuff, I would say mainly defensively. If you can follow up a clump, you know, with a Shockwave to kind of lock them down, that's great. But a lot of times what I'll do is I'll Grav, auto mail, maybe one more auto, and then I'll shockwave and look to get out, right? You don't want to stick inside of clumps, because if you stand there and just keep left clicking, they're going to start dropping abilities on you, and then you likely die. We'll take a look at a couple of my VODs as well, and you'll see how I do that, right? Another thing is cleanse, right? When you have your debt, you almost always want to cleanse. So like ideally for me, like if I have my debt up, right, I'm popping my cleanse, which is normally on 2 for me. I'm using my cleanse. I get the potion animation, right? As soon as that's over, then I'm grabbing, dodging in, auto, mail. Right, and that burst should all go off together. The reason you're cleansing before you go in is so you don't get rooted, you don't get stunned, you know, all that stuff. You're able to get off your full combo without being interrupted, and you're also not getting weakened, right? If weaken's applied to you, then your overall combo is going to do less damage. So, I mean, for me, like, maybe the first couple, like, at the beginning of a war, maybe I won't cleanse every grav, but, because I have a limited amount of cleanses, but once you get into the war a little bit, like, you're gonna be looking to cleanse before any grav you throw. Like, we want to be using our cleanses offensively more than defensively, because the majority of the time, when you're in a clump and then you're trying to get out and then you're popping cleanse, it's already typically too late. You want to dump all your abilities with your cleanse running, get out all the damage you can, then, you know, shockwave and get out, right? You're typically not going to die because you have debuffs on you after you've dropped your combo and you've gotten out. So yeah, use cleanse offensively with your grav, with your mail, with your debt, especially with your debt, because you don't want to be weakened when you're detonating. You want as much burst as possible. Does anybody have any questions about, like, the standard Bruiser combo, anything I just said? All right.
Simple enough.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah, if not, then I'm gonna let me pull up a VOD of mine, and we'll take a look at that. And
Yeah, before
Yo, Core, can you say something again?
For POV.
And
yeah, what's up?
just talk about some basics of like war and stuff. Can everyone see that?
Yes.
Okay, sweet.
You have a shitty healer, but that's all I'll say. I'm joking. He's my friend.
Awesome. Yeah. So at the start of the war, you know, make sure you pick up your cleanse from the shop, right? Unless the army, like the shot caller or whoever, unless they tell you to pick up a haste, you're almost always just going double cleanse. Like, you want to have those cleanse for the first few engagements for sure, until you can until maybe you die, then you can pick up some more. Everyone should be running this on their bar. This first slot, the flame protection potions or whatever they're called, it's replaceable, right? You can run gemstone dust, you can run oak flesh, you can run if I'm playing on point, typically I'll run arcane protection potions, just to take a little less damage from the debts. There's a few different things you can put in there, but typically, like in a quad group, I'll run the fire protection potions, because especially if you're playing in their road, you're going to be taking a lot of damage from the blunderbusses, and if you're playing in your own road, then their fire staffs and their kill squad are typically going to be looking there. So having that extra protection's nice from the fire damage. Also, before the war starts, make sure you talk to your group, right? Establish who's going to be the lead bruiser, who's going to be the follow bruiser, and the job as the lead bruiser is to just calm what they're doing nonstop. Every time you throw a grav, right? You're calming where you're giving three, like, oh, I'm looking to grav top a point in 3 seconds, you know, like give your follow bruiser, your VGIG some time to follow up with you. And then as a follow bruiser, like, the main thing you should be calming is like when you're dropping your abilities, right? Like, you should be following the main bruiser and calming, like, yeah, I'm throwing a grav on that same clump or whatever, you know, keep it short, keep it sweet. And another big thing is calming your debts, right? As a lead bruiser, I like to ask my follow bruiser, hey, what's your debt at? You know, I'm at 75, what are you? If I'm at 100, you know, typically I'll ask, hey, I've got debt, where are you at? And if they're at, you know, 75, then I'll be like, all right, I'm holding abilities until you get your debt up. So that the follow bruiser knows as well, like, okay, I need to hold my abilities, get my debt up as quickly as possible, you know, and then we're looking to crash somewhere. But yeah, let's take a look at this VOD. I think in this VOD I'm playing their road.
It might be my mic dying, honestly.
Also, make sure to turn on your mics in game. It makes it a little easier to find your team.
In my ears, so I can hear you guys. And now's the time.
I'm just gonna be kind of going over some of like the basics of this role. On the like in this war, I'm playing a top quad group, so ideally I'm playing up here in their road. Like, we're supposed to be top left, that's our quad, right? But if we clear our quad, then we're looking top right, right? And the main thing we're doing is pressuring healers in their road, right? We focus our quad first. If our quad's clear, we look right, focus the healers there. What I'm also looking to do is when I have my detonate, when I've got my abilities, I'm looking to drop those on clumps like near the top of point. Typically you're not gonna typically catch a good healer with a full combo, right? I almost hardly don't ever throw gravs at them. I'll use my my hammer abilities mainly on them, and if I see one that's really low, you know, maybe I'll, and my group wants to kind of try to confirm that kill, then maybe we'll use some abilities on them. But for the most part, you're saving your abilities for like the clump fights kind of on the edge of like top of point.
Take our free points, right? Take that.
Off the initial crash here, yeah, make sure you're using your consumes, right? And I look to get straight into their road, right, and pressure these healers. Here I throw grav just because, you know, it's the start of the war. Like, we want to start building some pressure on their side, right? Force them to kind of come back. So just using abilities and forcing their army to have to come back is always good.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Respawns are now.
I'm looking back behind us here. Yeah, I realize here that my group didn't really make it, so I come back and try to help them.
Right on top of you.
Shocking. But yeah, drop abilities, shockwave, look to get out.
Shocking again.
Respawns in 10.
Look to get out, then I'm looking to left click any like 1, maybe 2 targets I see to proc refreshing move, so I can get my abilities back up. I'm pushing forward a little bit, pressuring. But yeah, in there, if we're playing in their road, typically want to be pressuring healers.
5, 4,
Pathing that healer. I missed him.
1.
Path of Destinies, even like in any quad really as a bruiser, unless you're like kind of close to getting your debt up and you just want that little extra, you know, you want to hit a few extra targets, you should almost always be looking to path like off of point, like on their healers or whatever, just to disrupt them, keep the like cancel any casts that they're like in animation of, like pathing through healers is always good.
Sponsor now.
Hey, he's looking free.
As you guys can, 3 and 4 work to try to tiptoe the bottom of this point. 3 and 4 work to try to tiptoe the bottom of this point.
Yeah, this is like my group's job, right? Keep these healers from free casting in their road.
Getting blocked a little bit out, so if you guys want to heal.
And if anyone has any questions about anything, feel free to just cut in, and I'll pause the video and we can go over it.
Come back a little bit. I'm casting
Secret potting here.
Backline's gonna start getting some
5,
pressure, right? Backline's
4,
gonna
3, 2,
stop for it. We gotta make sure we're fucking helping that shit out.
1.
BGB,
Sponsor now.
Like here, we kind of cleared top left, right? There's no healers here, so I wanted to help the point team out a little bit with some hammer abilities.
Backline's gonna start getting some pressure, right?
I probably should have just used
4,
great axe abilities here, but
2, 1. Respawns are
Grabbing
now.
right on top of you. Robin.
so this is like I mentioned before when we went over the standard combo, right? I cleanse, I grab,
Keep that fight at the top.
Chucking
Look at
it.
top left.
dodge,
Look at top
auto, maelstrom.
left. If you're a fucking top left,
That's gonna get out the most burst you can, and then I look to get out, right? If I need to, I'll charge out. If not, I'll try to save my charge in case I get pressured after I get out.
Look at this top
And you got to be careful of your stamina, right? I should have popped a regen before I went in too, but
Respawn in 10.
I'm not perfect.
Take it on VG.
Pressuring healers, pressuring healers.
Dead
I have
here.
that. And then after I've dropped my abilities, I'm looking to pressure healers again.
Not too.
Recrash them once they
5,
come,
Do you,
right?
do you remember what your
Down.
debt was at?
Keep feet on this
3,
point.
2,
No, I don't.
1. Respawns are now.
Thank you.
There we go. Binds top.
See, I'm asking my other bruiser what his debt was, because I've got mine here. So I'm looking to combo my debt with my other bruiser so we can, get some wipes on a clump somewhere. We'll see. We'll see in a minute when he gets back.
There you go. Keep them there.
They got a group of.
Like here, I could full send it right now, right? But I don't because my other bruiser's not here. I'd rather wait on him and do it together.
Dex really close to C point.
Respawns
I'm
in 10.
90%, 90%.
That's fine.
8 points
I'm
taken.
just pressuring healers near bonfire right now.
5, 4,
Hey, look.
3,
They're going Corbin top left, a little bit off.
1. Respawns are
Like 2 left clicks and a dodge. That's kind of like if you're pressuring healers, if you're pressuring people, that's kind of the way to go. You do eventually have to, you will slowly start running out of stamina if you're doing this, so you'll have to not dodge once and let your stamina regen. But 2 left clicks and dodge is kind of the best way to stick on people. I should potentially be using my Warhammer here rather than my great axe, but I
now.
have debt. Oh, what's your debt at, PG?
90, 90. Give me a few seconds.
Yeah.
I'm just running back.
What's up? I'm shocking here on Corbin.
Respawns are in 10.
I'm pestering a healer on bonfire.
Coming there.
9, 8.
Move down to you.
See, I'm holding my great axe abilities for when my
Sacred on VG.
other bruiser gets his debt. Let's look to crash
1.
point on this
Respawns are
call.
now.
Here. Main comms is calling for a crash here. He was counting it down, so when he's calling that, I'm looking to crash at the end of that timer. I'm going top point right now.
I'm talking.
I cleanse, grab, auto, debt, all that stuff. Dump all my abilities, and I get out a ton of damage. We don't necessarily confirm any kills, but we force them back a decent amount, and we're able to maintain and continue ticking point.
Respawns are in 10.
Get out of there before they reclock.
Take on VG.
Grabbing this healer.
Yeah,
Talking grab, talking here.
5,
There we go. Keep
4,
feet on point. Keep feet on point.
3,
Healers.
2,
Healers into the fucking
1.
bottom quad team.
Respawns are now.
Grabbing the healer.
Tiptoe this bottom left point.
Dead.
I got that 10.
And then as soon as we finish crashing point, then we're back in their road pressuring
Seconds on
healers.
grab.
That's kind of the role of this group. We'll look at one more debt combo from this war, and then we'll take a look at a maybe fort. I don't know if we got into fort this war. Looks like we did. So we can look at fort a little bit, and then we'll switch to different vibes.
10.
Sacred's top left, off point. You can always ping Sacreds as well. I just comment here, right top left, just off point. Yeah, right here. Star Sacred.
5,
If your healer comes that they threw down a Sacred, you always kind of want to play around that. If they full crash on you, of course, get out, but 1 or 2 bruisers, they're not going to be able to kill you if you're playing in your Sacred.
4, 3, 2, 1. Respawns are now.
Still pressuring healers in road.
Keep feet on the point, right? Listen, if we don't start getting solid tick, we're gonna split here in about 30
Respawns
seconds,
in
alright?
10.
Off this next respawn. Keep
I
feet on
got
point.
Got full combo. I got full combo.
Here now.
5,
Bruisers, keep common shit, keep common shit. Use your ult if you need to,
2,
Come
right?
on, Bubby. He's
1.
armor bro.
Respawns are
Healer
now.
in their road. Dead.
Grabbed
Alright,
him.
listen for the splits. Hey, it's gonna be
I have
1,
dead.
2,
We can look to
5.
crash. Let's see. I comment that when I get my dead, I comment. I tell my other bruiser that we can look to crash point. I'll tell him I've got all my abilities. Crash point here soon.
10 off the next respawn.
Respawns are in
Update, no
10.
graph.
They're gonna sass mark.
So he tells me he doesn't have his grab yet, so I tell him, all right, let me know when your grab is up. Then when it's up, then we crash. What's your grab at?
10 seconds. 10
5,
seconds.
4,
Let me know when it's up.
3,
We'll crash together.
2, 1.
Popping.
Respawns are now.
We're splitting now. 1, 2, 5, 8.
I'm about to go down.
We're splitting.
This is my sacred.
I got staggered.
Let's see, my other bruiser died, so I ended up having to hold that without getting it off, which is unfortunate. But
Respawns are in 10.
Army calls for a split, so we split.
Get here. Hey,
Uh,
just stand
let's take a look here.
in this right side. Get some walls.
5.
We're trying to, like here, I'm trying to stop them rotating into our back line best I can.
Respawns are in 10.
As a bruiser, this isn't necessarily our job. Like once these guys get away from me, I'll leave them.
Respawn, go B.
Popping now.
Respawn, go B. Get some walls.
Um,
5.
But then like what I typically like to do is kind of try to take this space here and stop their rotates in.
4, 3,
Playing kind of
one.
near bonfire,
Respawns
like
are now.
bonfire / their road in that
Take it
zone.
on Corbin, top left. Oh, my
There we
ping.
go. There we go.
Yeah, my other bruiser's not with me, so he's respawning now. So like here I could look to det like on point. It would just be pad damage because I'm not going to be able to kill any of these people. They're all full health. They're playing in their sacreds and stuff, so rather just pressure healers, wait for my other bruiser to come, and then combo it with him.
Oh, my
There we
ping.
go. There we go. They're coming in. They're crashing in this right side. They're crashing in this right side, right?
Respawns
Crashing
in
this
10.
right side.
He called respawns go B. You just want me to come to C or stay B?
Go ahead and go B. Go ahead and go B. We're
5,
losing this at C.
4,
Hey, 8,
You
9,
get some
10. Your
take
guys
B.
can jump off this point and
One.
see if the
Respawn
fucking put
for now.
pressure on their healers, right? Put
I have
pressure on
det
their
and
healers, put
everything.
pressure on their support.
Popping. I'm with you for your debt. I have vines.
I'm
Taking out
cleansing here,
Respawns
looking
in
top of
10.
point here.
Respawns go B.
Cleansing,
Respawns
grabbing,
go
deading,
B.
top of point.
We got great.
Yeah, see, like I tried here to make a play, but because I don't have the other bruiser with me, I only had the VG. It just didn't do enough damage. We'll take a look at one more with the other bruiser, hopefully.
Taking on his ass at top point.
Top point, top point. Yeah, I'm still just playing
Respawns
top
are in
point.
20.
C right now, kind of, so just keep feet on point, right?
I have dead
Keep
again.
feet on point. Keep feet on
I have
point.
vines.
Healers, if you can tiptoe the bottom of this point, tiptoe the bottom of this
Yeah,
point.
my other bruiser's at the other point because we got
Respawns
split
in 10.
because of
Popping.
it's just from calls from the
looking top
army,
point.
but
5,
yeah,
4,
looking top point, cleansing, grabbing, deading.
One.
Everybody at top
Respawns
point,
are
spread
now.
out. Everybody at
Yo,
top
these
point,
fucking
spread out.
skid.
But yeah, like that's the basic combo, right? Like this is a perfect example of how it should be done, just with the other bruiser as well. If I had another bruiser here with me,
Yeah,
like this entire group here dies. But this is the basics of playing their road bruiser. You're pressuring healers, then looking to crash point with your det. Always cleanse before you grab det, right? Always cleansing. So just pop cleanse, grab straight into a grab, one dodge forward. You're deading like as your grab is like coming out of your hand. One dodge forward, a left click, and then a maelstrom.
Now.
And you just like see these people like blow up, right? Like you just do a ton of damage doing that.
Skids was like dog.
Because we wiped them so hard, I stayed on here to confirm some kills and tick point. But typically after this, I would be looking to use Warhammer abilities, maybe a shockwave, then look to step off and continue pressuring healers.
Respawns in 20.
That's the basics of that. Let's take a look at Fort.
Hey, real quick before you get to
Yeah.
Fort, can you go over some things that you want to be looking for if you're playing in the back quads?
Yeah. I have a VOD of that too. So we'll do that one after this. Yeah, we'll be taking a look at that as well. This wasn't a like a traditional like fort phase because we forted them with like 5 minutes left. But typically you get down all the gates, get down all the horns, right? And then we can look at this initial like crash that I do here. Ideally, like after hitting the gates and stuff, you would have your dead up, you'd have all your cooldowns. When the shot caller asks for or calls for a push, then you're looking to cleanse, drop all your cooldowns on the clump at your gate, and then push in. Right? You don't want to sit at the gate forever and just keep fighting there. You want to get your abilities off and push in. B here.
Just go in B. We're going B.
Respawns are in 30.
Okay, so you see here, I cleanse, grabbing. I didn't have debt at the time, but I think I do use it here just because I didn't want it to be out of sync with like my abilities and stuff. I'd have to wait a whole 20 seconds to dead again.
Respawns in.
We're literally popping.
I'm in
I'm in.
But yeah, when you're pushing in, you're cleansing, dropping your abilities on the gate, then pushing in, right? Like you don't want to sit here and just fight in the gate the entire time. Same goes for side gates and back gates, all that. Deading him, deading.
Respawns.
You gotta be real careful playing inside of fort. Like, you don't want to stay clumped up too much. A lot of times healers struggle staying alive in fort, especially on attack. So yeah, once you get in, you want to kind of spread out.
I'm in.
Make sure we're ticking point here.
Yeah.
Typically, I wouldn't say tick point, but there's only 2 minutes left. We got a good push in. So, but typically you get in, pressure healers and dirt. Like if we're assigned B gate, then yes, we would be the team to tick point. If we're assigned A, we'd be looking for healers in this dirt, maybe up here on the stairs or up here. If you're assigned C, like the opposite, or the same thing on the other side. But that's what you would look to do. Then you can, like, on their respawns, a lot of their players will come down the stairs like into this hell area, and you can look to crash here. You can look to be up here on their respawn when the respawn happens and throw a shockwave or something, or a grav, and just like, if you've got you know, your whole group there, you could potentially get a big wipe. But even if your whole group's not there, just CCing them and, you know, staggering them and keeping them from getting to the point or where they need to go is always good. They get pretty heavy. I think we got some kills.
Look to the left. The guys that were repairing gate are pushing from the left. Oh my god, are we gonna print them?
Right, so here I see like our armies starting to kind
To the
of
left, the guys that were repairing gate are pushing from.
kind of stack up over here, so I look to spread out a little bit.
Oh my god, are we gonna print them?
Cleansing, grabbing top of point.
Yeah, I'm deading top left. I'm deading top left.
One. Respawns are now.
They're gonna crash. Brace for this fucking
One more respawn.
Try to confirm low L kills.
I have vines.
But yeah, that's kind of the gist. Then I would look to, normally I would look to step off, which I do step off here, right? Because you see they crash hard, and then re-engage. Maybe left click some healers or whatnot, and then drop abilities and re-engage on point.
40.
I got that up.
I'm spinning top point.
Respawns in 40.
Take an assassin. Keep pressure on. Keep pressure on.
This war's a little different than like a typical one because we just didn't
Keep pressure on.
have.
Yo, we can win. Stay on. All on. All on.
We just didn't have much time here, so it was just kind of a full Zerg on point. But yeah, that's like your typical, like, well, that's not a typical breach, but we'll see a typical breach in this other VOD, I think. This is gonna be a
when we go in for
bottom quad group.
I'm gonna default. So when we go in, I'm gonna go to the right to the shop.
And it's gonna be similar to right, like kind of similar to top, except for instead of pressuring healers, we're pressuring any kill squad, really anyone that tries to come into our road, and we're trying to create space for our healers to play. So we're typically fighting below the point, right? Under, like, you don't typically go past like the halfway mark of point. If your zone is cleared, like here, we're assigned bottom right. If our bottom right's clear, we look bottom left, help them out, clear the road. then you can kind of, if both quads are clear, then you can kind of look to push up. And typically what I'll do is I'll ask my healer, because they are playing behind us here. If they see anyone starting to wrap or come into our road, I'll tell them to tell us. Then we immediately come back in our road and clear it. We don't want to have anyone really playing in our road.
I'm gonna shotgun us. I'm grabbing it too.
You have a sacred there, Seth?
So we do not have respawn car.
I got it. I'm doing it for you.
LRF is, or LF is...
Looking for E girl.
We're getting pinched from behind.
Right, so this group here that we were fighting was probably their top quad group, right? Like, they're looking to get up in this zone and pressure our healers, but we kind of win this fight, so they're forced to push back. LF is...
Looking for E girl.
We're getting pinched from behind.
I hear a comm that we're getting pinched from behind. I don't see any, or there, you don't want to go all the way out here, right? This is kind of for the kill squads. Like if the kill squads want to fight each other, they can do that out here. The only time we're really looking to engage their kill squad is if they kind of step like in this like zone here. Right, we're not chasing them all the way out here, because if we chase them all the way out here, this group that we were just fighting gets into our road for free. If these guys come down into this zone, then we'll look to pressure them. But if they're way out here, we're not messing with them.
A is currently clear.
Shotgun on you. I got grab up in 3. I'm grabbing right here. I'm ping.
Response does happen.
Towing the point a little.
I'm grabbing. I'm ping.
Armor broken on that.
I'm showering this kid.
Healing. And again.
I'm looking,
No.
looking a shockwave, right.
I got grab up in 3.
A lot of times, rather than approaching a fight head on, sometimes it's better to kind of wrap around them, right? Because you're cutting off their escape and you're also hitting them in the back, so you're doing backstab, you're getting the backstab crits. So rather than just running straight into this, like I see I'm kind of low health, it gives my healer a couple seconds to top me off or whatnot, and then look to crash it from behind. I also see that they're deading here, so I wait like a second before I go in. Shockwave, right.
I got grab up in 3 and then I'm grab deading us. Or do you have your dead now?
I don't have grab. Give me 5 seconds.
Okay.
5, 4. I'm constantly looking behind me, right? I'm constantly, like, it looks like I'm not really I'm just walking around, but gonna shockwave, right.
I got grab up in 3 and then I'm grab deading.
Like every time I'm stepping back here and looking back here, I'm trying to see if they're kill squads in our road. Because if they are, then we have to drop back in. I don't have grab. Give me 5 seconds.
Okay.
5, 4, 3.
You want to look closer to point?
I'm looking bottom right point, heading.
Okay.
You have sacred there?
Response at 5.
Yeah. See, and I didn't get my my cleanse was still on cooldown here, so I end up getting shockwaved, and I'm not really able to get my full combo off.
Okay.
You have sacred there?
Response at 5.
Right. It wasn't ideal, but yeah. Typically, you can look to crash point. You can look to crash that quad group too, right? If they're still pushing into your road, like you can look to crash there with your jets when you've got it.
Lagging so bad. Holy shit.
Shocking.
He showered.
Go.
A lot of times when we have some point tick, right? When we have point pressure, if our zone's clear, I'll look to step bottom point a little bit. Another thing that bottom quad should be doing, which I don't do here, I probably should be doing this, is looking at the other bottom quad and seeing if they need help, which it looks like there are reds here, right? So this is probably a mistake on my end. I should probably be here bottom left helping them push out their quad and then looking in the point.
Armor broken.
The kill squads and
You can die, he's dead.
Kill spots in the road. Yeah, so our healer calls their kill squads in our road, and what we should be doing, which we are, is immediately looking back and helping.
So let's help clear road. Clear road. Clear road. Grabbing in our road here. Opening.
Shocking it.
Super ham.
Looking for ego buff. He's not. He can die. He can die.
Shocking him.
Grabbing him. Grabbing him.
Spinning.
Screen.
You guys have a sacred thing?
Right side, or left side, left side, left side, left side. They're crashing left side, they're crashing left side.
Response now. Response now.
Response down, kills down, kills down.
Almost got dead up.
75.
Play your life. Papa cleanse, hey, just blue horns
Yeah, I should be helping up here, right? I don't know why I'm doing this. 70. I make mistakes too.
Play your life. Papa cleanse, hey, just blue horns again. They just blue horns again. Some ice around.
Besides, you have a sacred thing.
Bottom point. I'm grabbing here. One ping.
Respawn
Right.
5.
Spinning it.
Rotating their kill squads.
I have that.
Have that too.
Cooldowns in 15.
Crashing hard top of point. Crashing hard top of point. Crashing hard top of point. Let's counter crash. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Counter crash.
Let me know when you got grab. I'm looking at that too.
Yeah, it's 5 seconds.
Okay.
I gotta play live for a second.
Respawn, 5 seconds. Respawn.
You have a sacred thing. Oh wait, no.
They can look.
Yeah. I die here likely because I'm not using
Let me know when you got grab
consumes. I stuck in this clump a little too long.
Looking at that too.
Yeah, it's 5 seconds.
Okay.
I gotta play live for a second. Yeah, and I get rooted. I get vines. I try to charge out. It gets blocked. Yeah, I think what I was trying to do here is farm left clicks to get my Gravwell back up, so that I could det with my other Bruiser, and it kind of cost me my
I'm
life.
looking at that too.
Yeah, it's 5 seconds.
Okay.
I gotta play live for a second.
Respawn, 5 seconds. Respawn.
You have a sacred thing. Oh wait, no.
They can look bottom middle point.
You have a sacred thing.
So, I'm icing top.
I'm playing
top
live
left the
here.
point. Icing top left the point.
Healing myself.
I'm healing for you.
Fortifying left side.
I'm
The
good,
fortifying left side.
yeah.
The fortifying left side.
Make sure we're stepping bottom point here a little bit.
Dex is trying to shoot at me. I see right now.
10-second respawn.
Nice. That's good. That's
I'm
good.
cleansing,
That's
grabbing
You have a
right
sacred
side.
thing. Bottom
I'm
right.
looking there. I'm grabbing it for you. We're grabbing it.
Respawn for
Super ham. Good
now.
night. Super ham to the guy.
Kills down on the right, left side point. On the left side point.
He's
Left
dead.
side point. Cleanse to get out. Do your damage to get out.
I have that.
They're going to crash.
Let me know when. Yeah, so drop abilities and looking back in my quad, making sure it's clear. These are both light fire staffs, I believe. Great Axe fire staff. Yours is up. I look to clear them out of our zone.
80%. Jeb G right here. Right behind you. He shocked you.
Respawn's in 5.
I'm dead on C. I'm dead on
Nice.
C.
Okay, that's fine.
Alright, I got that.
Yeah, okay, me too. I've got everything. What's your cooldown?
Yeah, me too. I got everything.
This is something that a lot of people don't do, right? Is communication, right? Like the entire war I'm talking with my other Bruiser, asking, you know, what their debt is, telling them I've got debt, you know, that kind of thing, and looking to combo abilities with my group. I see a lot of times like the difference between like a solid Bruiser and like a really like a top tier Bruiser is their communication and their group play, right? Like you can have the best mechanics in the world, but if you're not telling your group what you're doing, if you're not playing with your group, then your effectiveness just like is halved. So make sure you're communicating with your other Bruiser and doing, you know, comboing with them.
I'm moving. There's like.
Like here I see a road, he sees road, right? We've got combo, we both know we have combos. We're able to just go on this without really having, like, being able, like, just saying, I'm going, right? And my Bruiser knows, like, okay, like, we both have everything, we're dumping all our abilities here. In our road, cleansing, grabbing in our road, steady.
Respawn's at 10.
I'm bottom right.
Baby.
Hey,
My shower.
Shark dog is a healer, I think.
Yeah, that's a healer, definitely.
Pathing him.
Not committing, just on and off. They just blue horns,
Respawn's in 10.
Breathe, they blue horns.
Yeah, and I'm constantly looking behind, making sure our zone is clear, right? Which it is.
Something 10.
Breathe, they blew horns, breathe. It's
Okay,
Gotta get out real quick.
Wait, that's way too.
Sager's bottom right point, kind of far off.
Helping our road.
Yeah, I'm shocking on this. He's armor broken. Reggie can die. He's dead.
Good.
Look bottom point. I'm cleansing grabbing.
Shocking. Regrabbing. Bottom point.
Ali can die. Middle point on play. Oh, he's out.
Prolo showers right side of the.
No, we're communicating, right? Dropping abilities together. He comes that he's throwing a grab since I'm already kind of regrabbing bottom point. Let me go back a little bit further.
Cleansing grabbing.
That's a follow-up grab right there, right?
Yeah, exactly. So like he comes that he's grabbing. I wasn't necessarily looking to grab this, but when he comes that he's grabbing, I just throw down a shockwave, right? Lock them in. When his grab hits, then I'll look to like dodge out and then re-grab it, right? You don't necessarily want to be right in the middle of everything when you're throwing your grab because you'll get interrupted, right? So I shockwave here, dodge out, cleanse, grab, nail.
Regrabbing
bottom point.
Ali can die. Middle point on play. Oh, he's out.
Prolo showers right side of the.
Yeah, we confirm at least a couple kills there, just basically off of what our group did there.
I'm moving just bottom of our road. I have.
Carlos shocked. Bottom point.
Healing
No,
myself.
Good, get these kills. They're crashing now again.
They can die middle point. Crow, look at that. They can move that. They're moving there.
Big.
Ice on the top
That's
side.
their
Ice on
point.
the top side.
Let's move top at the point.
If you're a BG,
I'm right.
Our road looks fine.
I'm grabbing bottom right.
You're still stepping.
Shocking it for you.
You're stepping on and off if you're a quad.
Helping
Get
hunch. No
ready
D, no D.
Get ready to
Respawns in
Shocking top
5.
right.
Go ahead and step.
I'm grabbing top right.
Step now.
Top
We
right.
take this point.
Why do you, at that point, and it looks smart, but why do you decide to step off point while you're taking it, just to prevent them from coming in? Or?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm kind of playing the edge, right? I don't necessarily need to be right in the middle.
If you're a BG,
I'm right.
Our road looks fine.
Like here, like I probably shouldn't like this doesn't really matter. There's a little half second that I step off, but like here,
Move top at the point.
I just turn around to make sure our road is clear,
I'm right.
right? Because that's our first job, right? I see it's clear, then I look and I step back on. Like I'm just playing the edge of the point. I don't want to be standing right in the middle because then like if they were to collapse point with like all their players, then I'd be stuck right in the middle and I wouldn't be able to get out. So I just kind of want to play the edge. Bottom right.
Shocking it for you.
You're stepping on and off if you're a quad.
Helping hunch. No D. No D.
Yeah, here I probably didn't intentionally jump off, right? I was just trying to kind of chase that kill a little bit.
Shocking 5.
And then yeah, I see all these reds up here. So I just dodge forward and shockwave them, stun them, keep them from crashing, keep them from coming on to point. That's kind of my thought process there. If I'm holding, 4 people here like off of point, then as like, maybe if me and my other bruiser are the ones doing that, like, we've got more numbers here,
trade.
but yeah.
That's a good trade, though. You're
Exactly.
preventing 4 from getting on just by the 1. Okay.
And like a lot of times when we get this much pressure, our healers, our lights, they should be kind of taking a step onto bottom of point and healing us from there. So they should be the ones taking point, and our army should be, kind of building a wall right here around the like front of point, stopping their army from coming in.
Helping hunch. No D. No D.
I wonder if I turn around
Respawns
here.
in 5.
Go ahead and step.
I'm grabbing top right.
Step now. We take this point. This is ours. Everybody's on.
Showering top.
Healing soul.
Yeah, like this is a BB player here. He's stepping on point. I'm trying to see where my healer is.
Good.
No,
All right, we wrap.
This is a healer, right? All these are like light players. Like this is a bow, right? They can kind of step onto the backup point and tick the point while we prevent the enemies from coming in. And then
Notice.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, you can notice they're all at the edge and kind of like spread out too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't want to be stuck right here in the middle, because if they do decide to all crash the point, then you're stuck here in the middle, and you can't get out. You kind of want to be hopping on and off the edge, just in general, right? You never really want to be standing right in the middle of the point.
30-second respawn.
But yeah, we're just basically building a wall here around the top of point, preventing any of them from coming on, while, you know, some of our light players and stuff take the point. I need funds.
Yeah, me too.
I look to confirm some of these kills if I can. And then since I'm out of cleanse, I buy, if I had like 3 to 6 cleanse, maybe I don't buy and just full send it to C. But a lot of times I'll buy like 1 haste as well. See if I do it this time.
We're going to our road, herd.
No.
Our road.
Respawns in 10.
Okay.
Yeah, it's probably best for me to buy 4 cleanse, just because if I had more points, maybe I would have bought a haste, but I could easily run out of 8 cleanse in a life. So that's why I bought 12.
Respawns in 10, respawns in 10, herd. Make sure
Nice,
you
we won that point straight up.
They're
That's
buying,
good.
they're buying right here, they're buying right here.
Or 9 cleanse, however many it
I've
is.
never
Work
fought
around
on
the
this
point, work around the point, work around the point, work around the point, work around the point.
On alley right now, and run road.
Yeah, I see you, I see.
Shocking on it.
Yeah. This is our quad, right? We looked to clear bottom. We see there's a clump here. Like, I'm a little bit behind, but I'll look to follow up with my abilities as well. I'm pre-potting before I go into this as well.
Cleansing, grabbing.
Well, I should have cleansed here. This is a mistake.
You have a sacred there.
I'm bioing this.
Hey, you have all my heals there, all my heals.
Respawns in 15.
Respawns in 15, herd. 1, 2, 6,
Armor broken.
Fight this top right.
Reggie.
Fight this top right while the rest of the army loops around. Look, we're looping around.
Armor breaker provides a pretty big rend, so if you can get off an armor breaker in like a clump or like on a target, it's typically like good to call them out, because if they stay there and continue fighting, you just deal a ton more damage to them.
I'm healing from bomb, by the way.
Shocking, right side point.
5.
So yeah, I'm constantly looking behind. Our road is clear, so I'll step towards the bottom of point. Since we're bottom right, if we do push up, it would be into top right. We never really want to be top left, because then it's almost impossible to be able to work your way back to your quad without, running into other people or whatnot.
As soon as you guys win our road, start helping us take
You have a sacred bomb, Ryan.
I'm right here with you, AoE healer.
Grabbing off point on right.
Good.
Scream.
I gotta cleanse to get out of that.
Fuck up, guys. Here we go. Let's
Super hand,
super
super hand.
I'm moving. I'm bottom road. Oh, it's actually
Respawns at 15.
Respawns at 15, herd.
Like my left.
You have a sacred there, bottom right.
I got full combo debt, everything.
I'm 75 on debt.
Okay.
Give me like 10 seconds.
Top of the point. These guys
Bottom left is big.
by the way.
But yeah, like here I see that they're crashing on this. Originally I was just left clicking this guy to try to get my debt up, right? Try to get my cooldowns back. I see they crash this and I immediately get out. Bottom left. Also jumping. Jumping is big too. A lot of people don't know about it. When you're slowed, you like get regular movement distance with jumps. So like when you're in a grav, right, you can dodge once and then jump and you're out of it. So rather than dodging twice, right, because if you dodge twice, you're using almost all your stamina. So 1 dodge and a jump, or a jump and a dodge, and you're out of a grav. Like here you see me dodge and jump out, right? I just maintain, like, jumping. You're not slowed when you're jumping, so if I were to just walk, it'd take me longer to get out. But there's like it wasn't like that important in this situation, but there's definitely situations where that can like save your life.
Bottom up is fat. Okay.
And then immediately I turn and look to crash it, because I know they've just dumped all their abilities. So now they don't have much to like, I'm not going to be taking a ton of damage in this clump because they've already used all their stuff.
I'm going there.
Right or wide left? Good. This is good take.
Alley can die.
See, and here, like, the reason why I stick this clump a little longer, like, normally I would say drop your abilities, get out, right? The reason I stick this a little longer is because I know just 2 seconds before here, they're all dropping their abilities now. Right, so I know they have nothing to kill me. Right, so when I crash,
Bottom up is fat. Okay, I'm going there, I'm going there.
I know I'm not going to take nearly as much damage because I don't have anything.
Ali can die.
So I can just sit in there and kind of left click. But I like, in a normal situation, I would drop my abilities, maybe throw a shockwave down and get out.
Shocking on him. He's armor broken.
They're out, Sharon.
His armor broke again.
Papa cleanse and decon. Papa cleanse and decon.
Did you dead?
Papa cleanse and decon, guys.
Yeah, I did. When we back
I'm gonna use mine then.
Respawns in 10.
I'm almost at 50%, but you can use it.
Cleansing, grabbing bottom left, and deading.
Save abilities.
I got a mouth for that.
Give us secret there.
AoEs.
Shocking on it.
4, 3.
Re-grab it.
Yeah, it's my other bruiser had just used his debt, I think, in that bottom point fight. So since I didn't want to have to hold my debt for him to charge his debt all the way back up, I went ahead and used it. Just on like a group where like another group of ours was fighting, hoping that they had maybe some combo or something to follow up on it. But yeah, there's certain situations where it's okay to kind of debt solo, but typically you want to wait on your other bruiser. He just used his debt. I'm gonna use mine then. I think in this top left fight, and I just didn't quite have it yet, right?
Bottom up is
He uses it here. I just didn't have it yet.
I'm going there.
Good. This is good tick.
Maybe I can use it in the middle of this fight, but at this point my cleanse is probably worn off and I'm likely to get weakened or something, so I didn't want to use it, but I think it would have been okay to use it here. You also have to be careful because when you do use debt, you're going to be taking more damage. Everyone should be running the brutal detonate.
Ali can die. Shocking on him. He's armor broken.
They're out, Sharon.
His armor broke again.
Papa cleanse and decon.
Did you debt?
Papa cleanse and decon, guys.
Yeah, I did. When we back from
I'm
left.
going to use mine then.
Respawns in 10.
Let's push. Let's go.
I mean, that's pretty much the gist of bottom point. This war we did actually fort them with a decent amount of time left, so we can look at like fort entry and stuff, how to play fort. Did anyone have any questions on the outside of fort stuff? All right, I'll take that as a no. I'll keep playing this.
I'm grabbing on gate.
Snotters trying to get in. Let me go forward to where we get the gates down. I'm not looking to push on the initial crash, right? Or on like when we break down our gate initially, right? We want to get all the gates down and wait for the shot caller to call the push.
Respawns in 5.
I'm potting.
And again.
Dropping. How do you guys want?
Hold your deaths for a push.
Left side on B is almost down. Horns. Good.
Shocking. Typically you want to hold your abilities too, but I know that the gates aren't going to be down by the time I get my abilities up, so I go and use them.
Working on horns. There's one more on our
Horns still up at A.
Those horns down at A.
My eyes says. Watch that drop. Watch the lane.
John John's dropping? Yeah.
Come back towards me.
Down, guys. Drop down's good. Put these cannons at B. Yeah, put the cannons at your gates.
You have a secret there.
Damn.
You can buy cannons, put the cannons at your gates to help our...
Oh, dude, I got E. And again.
Here I see that it's free, so I go and pressure their healer. So hopefully my group can win this fight on the outside of fort.
Get these horns down. There's still a couple horns at B gate. Left side there's one.
Down your lane. Watch it land. You're getting deaded. Watch.
Oh.
C gate gets down. We're going into 1930.
Sassy, you have a secret.
Yeah, but you got to be real careful, right? Because if they do crash on you, you can die. 1930. So he called our shot caller called at 1930. He wants us to push. So we're all we should be holding abilities for the push, right? Making sure we have dead up, all that stuff.
Respawns at 5.
Make sure you have your cleanse up for the push.
Alright, hurt.
A-gate Drewsy's gonna be behind you.
We're going at 1940. We're going at 1940 now.
1940's call.
Respawns just happened.
Putting a sacred down that
Go now,
Go now, go.
He's calling us to go now. I don't want to be the first one in because I'm already kind of half health. I let my I let the other group and my other bruiser go in first, and then I follow up with with my abilities.
Kills now.
Showers in the door.
I'm cleansing.
Grabbing.
Grabbing.
I'm binding it.
They're all dead.
Hey,
A-gate's wiped. We win, but
Get off
A-gate.
gate, A-gate, get off gate, we just got huge wipes, bro.
Let's push towards point. And then typically what you want to do is when you do get in, pressure healers, right? Bobby's a healer. Typically before the war starts, you can get the other team's roster, like just the in-game roster. Like, we fought this other company so many times, we already know who all their healers are. So when I see this name, I know he's a healer, so I can look to pressure him.
I'm off on shot. Lucky
Hell
John John's
or wherever.
following me. I'm so behind.
I'm playing in hell. Hell is free. I'm playing in hell. Hell is.
Work around the point. We can honestly win this here.
Typically I don't want to go all the way over here because my group's on the other side, but if it's safe to pressure healers and I know I'm not going to get pressured, it's okay to come over here.
Happen now.
Corbin, you have a sacred.
Lots of their healers playing opposite side dirt.
I'm trying to. I'm at sandbags beside B gate here, by the way. I'm trying to just jump back.
I'm grabbing top left point.
Right side. Right side.
Bottom point.
I'm going to B gate. Oh my god, no, overrun.
All buildings right side point. Right side point. Right side point.
No healer. No healer.
Yeah, no heals. It's looking a little bit.
Attacking top left.
8-9-10 fight healer. 8-9-10 fight healer.
Bobby. See, I see healer, I go smack him.
Response to 10. 5. Response to 5.
Seconds.
Be the point. They're all collapsing. Breathe.
Response now.
No, heard. I'm not responding. Good. Okay. 7, 8, 9 for this push again.
I'm still playing top left.
We'll readjust. See if we got any more pressure. We can maintain this pressure.
I'm coming back to you guys. I just respawned.
Yeah.
Kill squad's in A dirt.
Yeah. Let's deal with this here. I'm ping.
But yeah, you just want to, if point's not ticking and the shot caller's not calling people towards point, then you just want to maintain space inside the fort, right? Pressure any healers you see, all
Right, deal with those
that kind of stuff.
Right.
Don't clump too much, because if you do, like if we're all standing here together, they're gonna crash on it and will likely die.
Right side and deal the horns. Right side and deal the horns now.
So you kind of want to spread out inside the fort and then collapse on point or wherever the shot caller is calling when he asks for it.
I'm grabbing.
Getting those horns down last time. All right. The rest
Okay,
of
I'm
the
with you guys.
S is dead. Yeah, that was a healer.
Yeah.
Hers can die.
1745.
I'm grabbing on hers.
Hers can die.
You have a
Armor broken. He's armor broken. Good shit. Frog can die too. Frog can die
Respawn
too.
30.
We're working on shops right now. Work on shops and horns.
I'm going above D, by the way.
Shops and horns. I want
I'm above D, up top. I can throw,
I'm gonna go towards shops where meets at.
I got you.
Shops and horns. Get the shops and horns down.
You have a
Nice
sacred
healers
there,
there.
Sam. I think, I don't know if
Here again, just looking for
I'm gonna run
healers.
out real quick.
throwing a beacon at you.
Let's get the horns down. Let's get the repair pods down.
Yeah,
I'm
I can
dead.
heal as far as that
Are you
sacred.
recording this, Robin?
I am.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll post
Good
it.
to die. Good to die. 5 seconds.
Yeah, respawn to 5, don't die.
Point healers are to the
I'll post it afterwards.
right. Come in C gate and get into the right.
Yeah, hitting shots always important too. You don't want to let them buy cleanse and stuff for free. This is I assume most of you guys already know, but this is where you buy your cleanse, your haste, that kind of stuff. This left shop is where you pick up repair parts. You can destroy both of them. On this side, you have to hit them individually. On the other side, you can stand right here in the middle and left click and hit them both.
Tyler's
They're
on
above
shops.
you, by the way.
High concentrate.
now.
Right side dirt. Right side dirt. All their healers. All their major healers. Right side dirt.
Right side there now.
You have a
right side there now.
sacred just on the end of that day.
I can crash behind them on the gate. Just let me know when we're pushing.
I'm coming in now. All of us are coming in now, I think.
Important thing as well, Robin, is when Robin's talking about pressuring healers, guys, it's not to kill the healers. Like, sure, kill the healer if he's going to stand in front of you and try to cast on his group, but the whole point is to try to make the healer run.
Yep.
And when the healer pulls out his rapier and he starts to run away, his group's gonna die, right? So it's not exactly about getting the kill or confirming the kill. It's just creating pressure on the healer, so they have to back up.
Exactly. Yeah, kills are great when you can get them. Like, that's awesome. But most of the time, especially like right now, like I'm inside fort on my own, there's no shot I can just like find a healer and kill them, but I can pressure them, right? If I like I don't know if I do it here. Maybe I look closer to the gate, but like here, my group's looking to push in. I could throw grav here and like pressure these healers, right? And then when my group comes in, then these guys here are all just gonna take a ton more damage because their healer can't heal them. And I have no chance of killing these guys on my own, but just pressuring them and forcing them back away from their group and making them, swap to their rapier or whatever, they're not going to be able to heal. Any pressure you apply to healers is always great.
Crashing, yeah.
Look for him. If you're over there, look for our timer.
Okay, they find me up top, by the way, so I'm
Regrabbing you.
I do not want to see these heroes standing. Oh, good.
Yeah, looking back at this, I wish I did. I wish I did throw the grav a little bit further back and catch this healer in there.
For him. If you're over there, look for our timer.
Okay, they find me up top, by the way, so I'm
Regrabbing you.
I do not want to see these heroes standing.
guys.
Oh, good kills.
Assassin,
Start working type of point. What are respawns?
SN is the healer.
7, 8,
That's
9
5
seconds.
5 seconds.
Alright, 7, 8, 9
I'm cleansing again.
2, 1.
He's a VG healer.
Okay, still slow playing.
I'm going above B again.
All the shots now.
No, D, sorry.
I'm going to. Let's gather on our bottom right shot. Bottom left shot.
I'm just gonna stay up here, Robin.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I get a little unlucky here. If I make the jump originally, like I live.
Gather on our bottom right shot.
I get stunned and then just I keep trying to jump up. If you try to jump up something and you get hit, you just fall back down.
I'm just gonna stay up here, Robin.
Yeah, I can't get
BB, stay
up.
outside.
I die for that.
Protect our gate.
But yeah, I was trying to pressure the healer, which is what I should be doing, I think. Down here now. But it was up here.
I'm just gonna stay up here, Robin.
Yeah, I can't get
BB, stay outside B.
Yeah.
Protect our.
Also a little unlucky there.
Here.
Sitting here staring. Side horns. What the fuck, dude?
Pinna's up here killing right side horn.
The shot caller's getting mad because these horns are still up. There's a horn here, there's a horn here, there's a horn on the inside on the other side. As an army, it's not necessarily for bruisers, but as an army, like especially the ranged people, like you want to be getting these horns down. Like when we were outside of the gate on A after we broke it down, like all the ranged could have been shooting this horn, but they weren't. So we gotta get these down. So I go up and hit it myself, but
Good tick, breathe.
Respawns at 5.
We're super disjointed. We might wanna like.
Okay, wait for me.
Go now,
I'm
go
respawning
now, push the hell, go now.
yeah, and I died trying to get that horn down.
There, see you, Ariel. Stay on him.
And I'm split from my group again. It's a little unfortunate.
Respawn just the right side, they're dropping down on this again.
I got armor
They're
break.
dropping down on
Yeah,
this
I would come back
again.
out, just chill at the gate,
Those
chill
guys
at the gate, wait
BBs
for
are staying at
assassin.
B, 20
Let's
second
do full
respawn, keep getting
regroup,
kills.
they're dropping.
Yeah. Our group calls to regroup, which I think is a good play.
No, we had no take, but we're playing top hill. Very top of point.
Top point. 15 second respawn, 15 second respawn.
If you're a dirt assignment, come into top of point. Come into hell. Group 10 is still being contested up top, but we're still trying to take down these horns and fighting them.
Good job. 3 seconds.
Respawns are in 3 seconds.
Once we get regrouped here,
Topher's trying to break you guys from behind. Topher's trying to break you guys from behind, right?
Fuck the back gates right here. Go in the front gate.
Should we go in? Okay,
Yeah,
we're on it.
yeah, I'm behind you guys. Go.
yeah, they let us in here for free, so we didn't have to dump any abilities. See them like racing over now to try to stop us, but it's too late.
Yeah, you guys.
I'm looking.
Coming with you guys, I'm
Looking in
looking
A
at above D.
Lots of healers in A dirt.
30
No,
seconds.
I'm not gonna be able to survive.
Grab him, Bubby Reborn. Netting this.
30 seconds, keep getting these kills. Oh, nice. Let's get these kills. Fan out.
I'm literally.
Yeah, and we just
Knocking on
crashed
those, you can
together
die,
with
you
the
can die,
other
you can die.
bruiser.
Armor broken.
Shocking. Yeah,
I'm throwing
also
heals
armor
on you
broken.
guys.
Good right side. That's big.
My sacred on you, assassin.
Sacred's on ping, Robin.
Nava BB.
I'm icing right side point. Ice right side point.
See a healer, and I go smack him.
Kick it out.
I'm gonna grab on him.
You gotta be careful of this too. I'm seeing this now in the VOD, but
Point, they're ice right side of point. They can't
just
get
make
out.
sure they don't get repairs up.
Kick it out.
I'm gonna grab on him.
Breathe.
Respawns now.
Again.
Respawn's down, kills.
My sacred there.
Sacred.
Put it down.
Do we have both that gates down? I see.
I'm above the gate.
Armor broken.
They're looking at me.
Now
I don't know how I'm up.
But yeah, we're fighting in a dirt until shot caller calls us to crash point.
Hey, I see Bubby, Waldron, and Navab. Healers on the left side dirt.
AoE healer can die.
They're healing their points here right now.
Nice.
AoE healer's dead. Nice. Good job. Keep getting these kills.
I just put my sacred where kudos is there.
Hers can die.
Respawns in 15.
Okay, their kill squad's coming after me now. I'm getting
789. Work the backstage.
Nava BB.
Oh fuck, dude. I think I got a respawn bug. I can't click the respawn, Mikey. What a respawn?
It's 5.
5. Okay.
Just trying to pressure healers, right? I'm forcing them to move, right, and have to reposition, which is good, but yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing here. I'm not getting a lot of damage out, but still pressuring them.
Just showing the edge.
Okay, wait, I'm
Scroll up. Middle point, top left, he's one shot.
Keep killing.
My sacred's there fucking hell there.
Let's get some eyes.
I'm above with
Eyes on point. Find the heroes.
Could I go
Find healers and kill them. Find healers and kill them. Kill healers. Kill.
I should definitely be communicating this. I didn't communicate it at all.
No.
They jumped out of me.
You have a sacred there, could you play in there?
Big jump at me. Kill these guys. They jump down. Good.
Left nut in hell.
Kill.
I'm playing in hell.
Good.
I'm here.
Stop restepping. Respawns anybody? Top left of
I
point
can
is
free
fat.
place my
Grabbing one.
sacred there.
Left side of point, left side of
Looking
point.
left side
grab
point. I'm grabbing left side point here.
Top left.
The kill squad's on me again.
5. Keep these kills on the left side point. Find the healer.
They're
Find the fucking
respawning
healer.
again.
This is perfect example of like cleansing too late. Like I should have cleansed before I went in here. I'm grabbing left side point here. But I didn't,
Kill
which
squad's
is a
on me again.
mistake. And then like because of that, I have all these debuffs on me. I'm just taking way more damage. And then I try to cleanse when I get out. But it's too late. That's why you almost always want to cleanse before you go in. I think that's probably good on this VOD. And then we'll do one more. It'll be quick. I'll just do outside of point. Let me find it real quick. This will be a point. A point VOD.
Everyone else's responsibility and how everything is symbiotic, right?
Not to
Now?
Hey yo.
Right. Oh my god, pre 5 seconds.
Wait, guys. So typically on point, what I like to do is take space at the top of their point, right? We play up here, and then when we have abilities, then we look to crash on the enemy, whether they're at the bottom or they're, you know, like out here on the edge or something. But typically as a point bruiser, you want to be staying on point as much as possible. You want to have that tick going, and you're just brawling on point. Try to take space top. I like to run the arcane potions because you do get deaded on quite often. So having these prevents a lot of that damage, but it's preference. So I immediately take space top a point, turn around, see this clump, throw a grav. Left side point.
5.
A lot of armies do 10-man comms in for the point group, so it'll be group 1 and 2 in this army. And in this war, I'm the lead for all 10. If you're one bruiser will be the lead, and they're calling where they're, you know, dumping their abilities. And then if you're a bruiser in another group or the same group, if you're not the lead, then you're just following those calls and following up with whatever abilities you have at the time. Non-zooming guys, me is the tank. Me is SNS tank.
You guys might have to fight the
Here I see they have some healers trying to step like top a point, but I've dumped all my abilities, right? I'm just looking to smack stuff at this point. Grill Dad and Marveal I know is the AoE healer, so even though it's like not necessarily my job to be pressuring these healers. If I have time and the space to do it, I will.
Together as a 15-man, Oppo is still
Just make sure they can't step on point for free.
right. Care about right.
Left is looking
Sacred on
Do you ever
top.
use like
Top of point,
heavies
top
and
of
half
point,
heavies
guys.
for pressuring? Like when do you start applying that over lights?
Like here, I think I do use like some half heavies. It really, it just depends. The hammer has a little bit better tracking, so like single targets, is when I'll typically look to use the hammer. Whereas like if they're kind of more grouped up, then I'll try to use the great axe because it's got that kind of swiping swing. You can hit multiple people. But typically the hammer, I'll use for like single targets. Sometimes I'll use the great axe, right? Because I have a refreshing move on the great axe. I'm trying to get my cooldowns back up. It really just kind of depends on the situation. Like if I have all my cooldowns and I'm just pressuring a healer like a single target, then I'll definitely be using the hammer. But if I don't have my cooldowns and I want to get them up quicker, then the great axe, just light attack. But it's, you got to find your rhythm, figure out what works best for you and just kind of stick to that. Take space, top of point. Yeah, like these other bruisers and stuff in the group here, these guys are doing it, but the other bruisers in the point group, everyone really in the point group should be looking to take this top of point space so that these healers can't really play here for free, Like if we're up here, we're forcing them further away from their groups, right? Because their groups are playing. Their groups are looking to play the top of point from their perspective as well. So we push these healers out, then look to crash on. But you do want to be playing on point, right? So don't go chasing healers. But if they're like right here on the edge, feel free to top of point. Throw them a couple top of point swings. Top of point.
You guys are dropping ice at the top.
I've got grab in 5. I'm looking to grab soon.
Their road is
3,
safe.
2, 1. Grabbing right side point.
Dream on that grab.
Spinning it. Make sure you're consuming.
I'm
I'm shocking right side point.
VE Thomas. Clapping. 5, 4.
Big thing with especially when you're playing on point, is declumping, right? Because with the flail, there's like an ability that increases your cooldowns, and I get hit by it here.
VE Thomas.
Because I decide to kind of stay in that clump. I should have gotten further out, but I get hit by here and increases my cooldowns a ton.
5, 4.
So get your abilities out and get out.
3,
Hold your big
2,
burst for another point.
1. Response
What you doing right here, Lydia?
5 seconds, looking to point. 4.
Alright, I've got grab again in about 10
Top of
seconds.
point. Top of point.
Make sure we're stepping point here. We're playing top of point. Top of point.
Clapping. Now.
Top of point. Yo nature. Yo nature. Top of point.
Take that space.
5, 4.
Okay,
3.
potting.
Sacred on Robin.
Okay, I've got debt. I'm looking to cleanse here. Cleansing, grabbing, deading, top of point. Top left. Top left. Alright, like it's exactly how it should be played, right? I tell my group I've got debt. Like I'm calming that, like I'm giving them a timer, right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm cleansing, grabbing, doing this top of point, right? In whatever zone. Like they're all looking for the biggest clumps too, right? So they see this, they know I'm gonna be here. Everybody's looking to follow up on this. Top left.
Headlines that.
VE Robin.
Shocking it.
Boarding.
3 and 4. How are we looking?
Then I should be looking to disengage here and finding some like space on the edge of point where I can just smack like left click a solo target to get my cooldowns back up again.
5. Sacred on Thomas. Clapping.
2.
Response now.
Ice at the top of point, guys.
Grabbing 1, looking to grab top of point. Grabbing top of point right now.
VE Robin.
Green. Top of point.
Top is puke.
Spinning.
Clapping now.
Low up top.
Kill top of point. Yo nature. I should be looking to disengage here.
Spinning on group. Spin opposite
bond.
But this is a good path here. Like typically when when you're playing on point, like I know like a lot of times you want to just path the most amount of people you can, but the most value you're going to get out of a path is something like this here, where I'm hitting like 4 healers, right, and disrupting any casting they're doing and stuff. So pathing off, like out towards their healers, is typically what you want to look to do.
He's hopping now.
He did Nick.
Take it on Robin.
They're dumping on point. Yeah, and we just get hard collapsed here, and I didn't recognize it.
Right. He's hopping now.
But yeah, I get vines and end up dying, but they just like hard collapsed everyone on point here, and our whole group, and I think the other point group died as well. So you got to be on the lookout for this, right? When you see them start to, you know, like you can see their animation, right? They're popping their consumes, they're popping their cleanse, right? You know that they're likely just going to crash point. So you want to look to, you can even like just step off here, right? That's what I should have done, is just stepped off point, maybe in this zone down here, and then after their crash, then look to recrash. I didn't have any abilities though, so I wouldn't have been able to, but I would have at least lived.
Robin.
They're dumping on point.
This is their
I'm
burst
down.
coming in. Declump,
Flashing.
declump. Exit point on side. Good. Take up space on point
Pacing
now.
back.
Take up space. Backline, be careful. You guys got a lot. Bottom point. Point team.
Let's get back to B, step point, and
Our
let's
backline needs to push forward. We're making a
space
back
top
point.
point.
Call it out today.
Ground Nick.
My secret is
Looking
on
bot
point.
bot point. I'm cleansing, grabbing bot point.
Popping.
I'm shocking bot point.
Hold up, sweet tea. I'm going to cool down. Healing now.
Something to do with that. 70.
Yeah, and then after I drop my abilities, I'm looking to step near the top of point again. I'm looking to path out towards the healers, all that good stuff.
Thomas. Popping now.
Make sure you're consuming, make sure you're consuming. I've got debt, I'm looking to make a debt play in about 3 seconds here. We're looking bottom right in 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1, right now. Bottom right.
Take it on Robin.
So, yeah, and that's like, this is another good example of like good comms, right? Is I'm giving my groups enough time to be able to follow up. I'm letting them know that I'm using all my abilities with debt in that zone. You know, and like you can apply that to any quad, right? Any group. Just calming and giving your other people in your group enough time to follow up. Right in 3 seconds. So I say bottom right in 3 seconds. I go and pop my cleanse. 3, 2, 1. Driving, deading. Bottom right. I get staggered here, but it's okay. I still grab that auto nail. I just get out big damage, right? Because I cleanse. If I didn't cleanse here, I'd have a bunch of debuffs, right? That's where cleansing beforehand comes in handy.
On Robin.
Shocking.
VE Robin.
Finish these kills on point. Lots of low health.
Screaming.
Good job.
Hit a Nick.
Yeah, I think that's probably pretty good. Does anyone have any questions? I'll take that as a no. I don't know. The fort's the same way, right? This time I was playing B gate. You wait for the call to crash from your shot caller. Just fight here. Fight outside. Here. We're waiting for bat gates to go down here. Oh.
Spawns now. Short respawn.
Alright, let's try and bait out cooldowns, get some kills at the gates. We're looking to execute this respawn.
2, 1. Respawns are now.
It's lagging.
Full combo ready?
Holding.
They drop rush disruptors behind you.
Behind.
I'm having full man.
5,
Ground total.
4, 3, 2, 1. Start executing. Walking to that first ice. Hit
All right, let's look to
Dead
push
on your
here.
gates.
I'm
Dead on your
cleansing.
gates. Hold your
I'm
point.
grabbing behind them, and I'm deading. I didn't have grab here, but ideally I do, right? I thought I did for what I didn't look down, right? But look what I do here, right? Instead of taking this fight head on, I could have just ran straight into this and fought this, but I wrap behind.
One, start executing. Walk into that first ice. Hit
All
your
right, I
cleanse.
find a little space here.
To push here. I'm
I
cleansing.
pop my cleanse, right? You always want to cleanse when you're going in, otherwise you'll just get stopped by their ice
I'm grabbing
walls.
behind them.
If I had grav, it would have been a huge grav, but I don't.
I'm deading.
I'm with you. I'm
Going. Spinning, deading.
Big
Right? And we kill like their whole group here. Just off of that push.
Spinning, deading.
Good
kills, big kills. We're pushing it. We're pushing it.
And then we push in step point, right? Our job as the B gate is typically gonna be your point groups that are playing B gate is to get in, take point. So that's what you look to do. Look to take space inside the fort, right? You don't want to necessarily be fighting in this choke because then people can't get in. So you want to look to get in, take some space near the top of point, and then you can look to crash back down on their gate when you've got your cooldowns again.
We're pushing in. Take space here. Take space. Look more veal. Left side.
I'm in.
Just off point. Yeah, he can die. He can die. I'm grabbing him top of point now. Make sure we're taking. Yeah, you don't want to over chase, especially as a point group, right? Just off point.
This is we know this is their AOE healer, so we try to get him down. Once he gets away, then you know
I'm grabbing
you can
him
just kind of give up on it.
Make sure.
But then yeah, look to take point, and then you know the entire time inside a fort, you're just as a point group, you're just looking to tick. Your shot caller, and you can recognize it too, right? When they look like they're about to collapse on point, then you step off for 5 seconds, then you recrash. But you got to be able to look and like recognize that.
Make sure we're ticking points.
You got to keep your head on a swivel. You got to look at C side, look at A side, C. Like here, we can see them start to kind of come down. So
Take it on Robin.
Don't over chase.
Response
Sacred's
in
top
30.
of point.
Sacred midpoint for all tank.
but yeah, you always want to be looking, making sure you're not getting crashed on.
Spinning. 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Ground Nick.
Playing in hell. Popping.
Let's get our ults back
Still
up
on
and
point.
let's look to combo something.
Response in 20.
We're just
Take
taking
it on
point
Robin.
here,
Stop
guys.
looking at
Play
point,
life,
take care.
play life, play life. Don't clump right now. Let's get everyone inside,
Oh.
then we can look to...
Play life. That's gonna kill me. They're 3, 2, 1 in me. I'm dead.
Response in 10.
I'm dead here too. I'm dead here too.
Yep.
Top left right now.
See here, I calmed it, right? I was like, play life, because once you get point tick halfway or so, people start to panic, right? And they'll start to kind of come down and collapse on point. So my calm was to play life, right? Kind of step off if you need to, whatever. You hear a couple people say, "Oh, I died," and I think that's from the other point group. So they didn't step off, I guess. But yeah, you look to step off, then you look to recrash.
I'm grabbing top.
Take it on Robin.
3,
I can get it on.
Spinning it.
1.
Scream that top.
Sponsor now.
Scream that top.
Respawning now.
Nuke.
I
Top
respawn
point.
30.
Top point's huge.
Top and declump.
Yeah. Ideally here, I like the shot caller is in the comms with me, so he should have heard that. Like I was calling for my group to like dump abilities here. So maybe he could have called it a little bit earlier, but
Spinning it.
1.
Scream that top.
Sponsor now.
Scream that top.
but yeah, if you don't have anything to follow up, right? Like I'd already used all my abilities, I can use like a path. Just path through it, but I don't need to go into that clump and left click, right? Because if I do, I'll just die.
Spawning now.
Nuke. Top point. Top point's huge.
Top and declump.
Make sure we're
Hasting.
cleansing. Make sure you're consuming.
Try play life, Nick. Almost back.
And then we spread out, right? Try to play life. My healer's down here, so I kind of have to find like a friendly sacred if I can.
Come to the gate.
You have hills on point. Hills. You have
Nothing.
sacred bottom point.
But yeah, I don't.
Sacred bottom point.
Space.
Point.
Control.
Respawning.
Wipe that top
Response
left,
in
step
30.
point and win. Wipe top left, step
Make sure
point. Declump afterwards.
I've got everything here, so I'm probably... Oh, when I'm coming in, I'm telling my group where I'm crashing, and then hoping that we all crash the same place.
Super grab right side.
Keep nuking top
I'm
left.
Nick.
Ice,
I'm cleansing.
Ground
Looking to
Nick.
grab top
Flushing.
left.
Teddy.
Cleansing. Grabbing. Deading.
Sacred on Robin.
That for you too.
Scream.
Shocking. Top left. Top left. Top
Response
left.
are in
Change
10.
your target if you have to. Wipe these fucking guys.
Healing
5,
Elizabeth.
C-side, C-side, just come through B gate on your respawn. C-side is losing.
Brown is back.
B gate, help
Brought
point.
these daggers, sorry.
We're still just fighting point, guys.
Come through
Fighting
B,
point.
C-side,
on top now.
B.
We're trying to maintain this tick. Other groups, like if you were one of those top or bottom quad groups, like here, when respawns are called, like respawns are happening now, you can look to cut off these people coming down from the stairs. Even as a point group, like you can take this space top left or top right a point, but like the quad groups can look to kind of step even up on these stairs or on their respawn
Taking on Robin.
and stop them.
Popping now.
Left side
Come through B. Everyone on respawn, come through B.
Make sure you're consuming here. Consume, they're crashing.
Healing banner.
Respawn's in
They are
20.
crashing.
Ground titty.
Exit point.
Taking on
I'm
Robin.
fighting
Is
top
that
left,
now?
top left.
Blushing.
Again, we're looking at left side, bot left, top
Popping.
left, bot left, top
Respawn's in
left.
10.
I've got debt. I'm looking to debt. Top a point here in about 5 seconds. 5 seconds.
4,
Don't grab.
5 seconds. Looking top a point.
Taking on Robin.
3,
1.
2,
Sponsor now.
1. Looking top
Popping.
left. Cleansing, grabbing,
Setting
deading.
up.
Top
Setting
left
up.
to stairs, top left to stairs. Finish your kills, top left to
Respawn's in
stairs.
30.
Finish these kills. Solo.
Slade on point, Slade, beautiful. Next target, next
Taking on
target.
Robin.
Make sure we're ticking here. We should all be ticking.
Respawn's in 20. Popping.
20
20.
seconds, guys. This is all free right now. We
Keep
got
coming if you
good
can.
lights,
Keep
but
coming if
right,
you can.
Top right, guys.
Let's look
Everybody
top,
look
top
right.
Top right, top right.
Respawn's in 10.
I'm grabbing
Taking on
top
Robin.
left.
Drop
I'm
damage,
popping.
drop damage.
D.E.
That
Thomas.
point, guys. That point.
No, I need to do a better job of using consumes here, right? Like I should be cleansing. Like I'm weakened here. I should have cleansed before the grab. Like, you know, sometimes you miss stuff that happens.
That. We don't care about
4,
respawns. Touch
3,
points, stack points, stack points, stack points. All in.
We can all in.
Good
GG.
shit.
Nice. Well done.
But that's about the gist of it.
Some empty slots tonight.
If anyone has any questions or anything that you feel like I didn't cover, you know, feel free to ask. And if you think of something, you know, maybe tomorrow or another day, feel free to shoot me a DM. But yeah, like I think the biggest thing, like I said before, for Bruiser is like make sure you're talking, right? Make sure you're talking to your group. Make sure you're doing stuff together as a group. Play your quads and you know what to do when your quad is clear, right? You don't want to just be standing in your quad waiting for, you know, people to show up, right? Like stay active. But you also don't want to go like way the fuck like to their fort, you know, chasing someone, right? You want to stay with, you know, near the point, but kind of in near your quad, right? But if your quad's clear, you know, go, if you're top left quad, go to the top right quad, go to the bot left quad, help them clear there, and then look back to your zone, go to point, whatever. Stay active. I got a question from Trigger asking me why I was running Abyss. I didn't have another great axe, to be honest. I wouldn't have been using Abyss, but yeah, that's why. It's not what you should be running. I just didn't have anything better as a Bruiser for this account. I do now, but yeah. All right, cool. Well, if no one's got anything, I guess that kind of concludes it. If you have any questions, like I said, feel free to reach out. And I'll keep posting like some. I have all the VODs that we looked at today in my ticket in the Discord, so feel free to, you know, check those out or whatever if you want.
I have a question.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. So I see a lot of Bruisers running Armor Breaker because he's got buff, I believe. So I'm playing the Mjolnir right now, which is require the Mighty Gravel.
Yeah, the lightning hammer.
Yeah, and
If you want to run Mighty Gavel instead of Armor Breaker, I think if you're running that, that Warhammer I would really only use on point. And then I would run the Mighty Gavel and just apply weaken everyone. I think it definitely I haven't seen it a lot, but I think it could have a spot for sure in Wars. I think the weaken is so big, so
Yeah, because
I
normally I would.
definitely use it on point.
Yeah.
Because normally I would shockwave them and mighty grapple them, which is like 20 around 30-100 damage, which like their health bar
Yeah.
gonna pop up right away. So they pretty much gonna burst out.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely viable. Like I said though, I would really only run it as a point bruiser, I think. Because you want to be weakening those clumps on point. There's not a whole lot of situations where it's going to be that impactful, like in the quad groups, I don't think. Because most of the time when you're looking on point, you're looking to drop your, you know, your big, like, your big combo, right? Your debts and with your maelstrom and stuff, your grav.
Like mostly the axe, but
yeah, exactly. And then you shockwave and get out. You don't necessarily have the time to kind of stick there and use the Mighty Gavel. But I think if you are a point bruiser, I think it's useful. A lot of the companies I've been in or I am in are not using it, but like in their army, they're not using it. But I personally think it could be good.
By the way, for the quads group, if like if you know that you can play far away from your team a little bit, because you know you're a little bit tanky, and then you can like your survivability is way better than anyone else. So is it possible to just try to annoying their healers or their decks the mage, like don't be at one clump, you know what I mean? Like when you
Right.
see a clump that you're throwing gravel and then Path Destiny, but you don't want to crash in those clump. You want to, you know, be annoying to the back line. So is that possible for a quad like a bruiser to just
Yeah,
flexibility like around those things?
did you come in a little bit later?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, the first VOD we went over, it was a VOD of me playing a top quad, like a top left quad. And that's the main role of that quad, right? Is you're out there pressuring healers in their road, you know? You're fighting in their road, pressuring healers in their road. Then when you get your abilities, when you get your, you know, your debt and stuff, then you look to crash. You turn around and look to crash point. You don't necessarily want to use those big abilities on the healers because they have so much mobility, they'll just rapier away and you don't get any kills. So you just pressure the healers with, you know, maybe you can use your hammer abilities, but you're mainly just looking to pressure them with left clicks, and then crashing point with your abilities. If you look on my I'm gonna post this as well. I'm recording all this, so if you look on my, so you can go back and watch it if you want. But if you want to just look at that, I have a VOD in my VOD review channel, and I labeled it a top quad group VOD. So if you watch that one, you'll see how I like pressure healers, then look to crash point, and then step back off pressure healers, and that's kind of like the cycle of that role. As a bottom quad group, you're not typically looking to do that because typically the healers are not going to be in your road. They're going to be more, you know, towards their own road.
Yeah.
Same with point. Like if there are healers like on the edge of point, sure, pressure them, of course, but you don't want to step too far off a point because you need bodies on point ticking the point, you know, because that's the ultimate goal, is to capture the point. If you don't have enough people standing on point, then you'll never get the tick you need.
Like normally when they crashing the point, I just find a clump and then I use my oak flash and maelstrom, everything that I can do to survive, and then hopefully can wipe out some people. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's a good point.
Like and I talked about this at the beginning too, like your main like all bruisers, your main combo should be you know, pop your cleanse before you go in, right? When you've got all your abilities, you're popping your cleanse, you're popping you know, well, I would say first pop your regen, your fire potion or arcane or gemstone or oak flesh, you know, those defensive potions, and then pop your cleanse. Then you grab and you dead at the same time, and then you dodge in once, left click and maelstrom, and then like all your burst is gonna come out at the same time. That's kind of like the standard combo. That's what you want to be looking to do. Then afterwards, you could shockwave, or you could just try to dodge out. But you drop your abilities and then get out. You know, unless you like totally win the fight. If you totally win the fight and you see a bunch of 1 health people walking around, then you try to finish like confirming those kills. Cool. All right. Well, I'm gonna call it here, I guess. Thanks everyone for joining, and sorry it took so long, but I hope some of y'all learned something, you know. And if anyone, you know, feel free to reach out to me if you get a VOD, right? Let's say, you know, next war we have, if it's like we don't get much value out of like the super hard like farm wars. Like if we're winning in 5-10 minutes, right? Like. Or we're just like war camping them, you know, like those aren't necessarily the best VODs to watch. But if you get into a war and it's a close one and you got a VOD of it, feel free to reach out and I can take a look at it with you, and we can go over some of the you know, mistakes you're making, right, and try to fix those, and we can call out some of the good stuff that you're doing. Make sure you continue doing that, you know. But yeah, I'm gonna end
thank you for being available.
I'm gonna end the stream here, and
Thank you, Robin. Appreciate it. That was great.
I appreciate